in Genesis 1, 26, 27, God created Adam and Eve and he made them in his own image. We all know that. And without a sin. But in Genesis 3, we realize that they disobeyed God, they sinned, and became sinful in nature. From that day, all of us are born as sinners. Even though that sounds like a hopeless story, we know that hope came in when Jesus Christ died for us. And because he had no sin, we automatically became like him and have no sin. So we started at the beginning where we could talk to God directly. I mean, Adam and God were here, same WhatsApp group. They used to talk. Sin came in, broke that communication. Christ came in, reconnected that communication. So when we talk about the inner voice, we're talking about a channel that you are able to engage with God, or a channel that God can engage with you. For most of us, we have that channel of talking to God through prayer, through praise, but we don't have a channel where God talks to us. We have been taught in church, in every place, pray, pray, pray. But the ability of God talking to you is still lacking in most of our lives. And for that to happen, now I'm getting to the point, it requires a transformation. The word transformation is made up of two words, trans and formation. Trans is transport. It's a movement from point A to point B. Formation means change in contour or change in form. So when we talk about transformation, we are saying that you are moving while changing. And once that happens in your life, and you are able now to listen to the voice that Adam used to listen, then it's quite easy for God to direct you. It's quite easy for God to command you. It's quite easy for God to warn you. When doing the briefing session with some of your colleagues and members, they said, okay, do you have real examples? And I want to share this quick example. You touched on it in the introduction. I used to run a company as a shareholder, grew it 4 times, had about 18 employees. One of the leading communication agencies, doing quite well in South Africa. 2019, August, my soul became unsettled. I suddenly did not have the joy that I used to have going to work. I suddenly, when I won an account, I was not as excited. Something was lacking in me. And I went to God and said, God, Kanti, kwenzakalan? Why am I unhappy? And God said, move. How can you make me build a company and then out of nowhere telling me to move? Move to where? Somewhere. Just move. I remember I went to a Burger King shop and I started writing a new brand plan for this new company that I'm going to launch one of these days when the time is right. And it was because voice. I couldn't even share it with my wife yet because Nama was not clear of what this thing is happening within me. Cut the story short, I wanted to leave this company March. January, the pressure was just too hard in me. Company is doing well, but I'm unhappy. The voice in me says move. Called my chairman, 15th of February. I said, listen, in 15 days, I'm out of here. I'm leaving the company. I don't want any shares. I'm just going to leave with my laptop. This is a business that I've built on my own. I left last day of Feb, 28th, 29th of Feb. My majority of my income at that time was coming from events. 20 days later, Cyril, our president, closed the country for lockdown. If I had not listened to that voice, I would have been in the eye of the storm. So during lockdown, COVID, I didn't have to worry about rent, employees, retrenchment. By that time, I had started something on the side that required virtual engagement. So the voice, the ability for God to talk to you about good things, to rebuke you, to protect you, is a critical element on how you manage your future. Without the voice, the only thing you can manage is now. Meaning you use your degree, your qualifications, your network, your money. The voice is there to manage and prepare the future for you.